Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Hikmah Syahdi Fitra, you can call me Hikmah. Today I would like to presentation to our material about economic equivalence. So what is economic equivalence? Economic equivalence is an amount of money that has the same nominal value economical, different value at a different time. Economic equivalence is a fundamental concept upon which engineering economic computation are based. Economic equivalent is a combination of interest rate and time value of money to determine the different amount of money at different point in the time that are equal in economic value. Economic equivalence indicates it may happen that a number of money with different denomination at different time will have at the same value. The two different names at different times are equivalent to each other. Equivalence. If we have 100 million rupiah now, what is the value of 100 million rupiah 1 year from now? The answer will be different for each of us depending on what alternative we have. Also depending on whether we are a person who likes to take a risk. Next is example. As an illustration, if the interest rate is 60% per year, $100 today present time is equivalent to $106 1 year from now. 1 year from today. I mean occurred 100 plus 100 or 0.06 is equal 100 1 plus 0.06. So the result is $106. In addition to future equivalence, we can apply the same logic to determine equivalence for previous year. A total of 100 now is equivalent to 100 divide 1.06 is 94.34 1 year ago at an interest rate of 5% per year. From this illustration, we can state the following. Last year is 94.34, now 100, and future is $106. Now are equivalent at interest of 6% per year. The cash flow diagram indicated the amount of interest needed each year to make these three different amount equivalents at 60% per year. The next is about interest. Interest, a measure of the increase in now money borrowed or invest into money earned in the future. Interest divided by two, simple interest and compound interest. The term interest period, and interest rate are useful in calculating equivalent sum of money for one interest period in the past and one period in the future. Simple interest is calculated using the principal only, ignoring any interest occurred in preceding interest periods. The total simple interest over several period is computed as simple interest equal principal, number of periods, and interest rate. We can see at on the screen. Next is where is the amount of interest carried out or paid at interest rate is be expressed interest in decimal, or we can less more than 1. Sorry, less than 1%, 1 or 100%. The next is compound interest. In most financial and economic analysis, we use compound interest calculation. For compound interest, the interest accrued for each interest period is calculated on the principal plus the total amount of interest accumulated in all previous periods. This compound interest means interest on top of interest. Compound interest reflect the effect of the time value of money on the interest also. Now, the interest for one period is calculated as compound interest equal principal plus all accrued interest rate. The next is example. Example, work financing led an engineering company $100,000 to retrofit an environmentally unfriendly building. The loan is for 3 years at 10% per year, simple interest. How much money will the firm repay at the end of 3 years? The answer or the solution is the interest for each of the 3 years is 100,000 dollar. We calculation with interest 10%, we can get 10,000 US dollar. Total interest for 3 years from equation, we know that the equation we can get 100,000 calculation with 3, calculation with 0.10. So we can get $30,000. So the next is the month after 3 years is total do 100,000 plus 30,000 US dollar. So we can get 130,000 US dollar. The interest occur in the first years, and the second year doesn't earn interest. The interest due each year is $10,000 calculate only on the 100,000 loan principal. The next is in most financial and economic analysis, we use compound interest calculation. So this is the example 2 about compound interest. Assume an engineering company borrows $100,000 at 10% per year compound interest and will pay the principal and all the interest after 3 years. Compute the annual interest and total amount due after 3 years. So in this case, we can to include compound of interest, the annual interest and total of each year are calculation by equation. Interest year 1, 100 calculation with 0.1 is we can get 10,000 US dollar. Total do year 1 is 110,000 US dollar. Interest year 2 we can calculate 110,000 calculate with 0.10, so we can get 11,000 US dollar. Total due year 2 is 121,000 US dollar. So it the same formulation as some equation to we can get interest year 3 and total do year 3. We can get 133 100,000 130,3100. The payment will require no payment until year 3 when all interest and the principal. So in this case, we can get and we can calculate with the formulation with compound interest. So it's all about my presentation is about equivalence and interest. Sorry for all mistake, and I would like to close with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.